We're live.
Yay!
Let's go. All right. So
I think
today we're talking about how you can also close on your first Florida home for only $36.
Yes.
Isn't that exciting?
Super exciting.
And what just happened in the last 2 days, Maricruz?
We actually did just that. We had two families close with very little cash to close, and one of them was $36.
Yeah. We had, I think, one family come here with $36 and they closed. And actually, no, today it was $30. And yesterday it was, I think,
yesterday was 56.
$56.
Yes.
So it's an average more or less of like 30 something dollars that they close with to buy their first home here in Florida. And how were they able to do that?
They were able to do that with a program.
Well, we're about to tell you how that program works here in the state of Florida. Now, my name is Andres Tinoco, and I'm a real estate agent in Miami-Dade and Broward counties.
And my name is Maricruz, and I work the Tampa Bay greater area.
Yeah. So, I mean, in Tampa Bay, like if you could probably like see in one of our other videos, which we'll put a link to right here, is a really big area.
It's huge.
So-
Yeah. I mean, you say Tampa Bay, but it comprises like, Pinellas, Hillsborough, Polk, Pasco, different counties there. So
Miami's pretty expensive, but I know that in this area you could get like all kinds of different homes for all kinds of different prices. It's
That's
really
right.
cool. I really like it.
mhm.
Now, how much, apart from like what they had to bring to the closing table, did they need to pay in order to secure this home?
Yeah.
These two couples.
They obviously needed their earnest money deposit too.
Yeah. And so I think like for one, it's usually what, 1% of the purchase
1%
price?
of the purchase price, which
So-
made one of the homes $2,000, the other one $3,000.
So you're talking, you do need a little bit of a deposit,
You do
but I mean, you're talking the amount of money that you probably
1%.
pay for 1%.
more or less.
Probably
yeah.
the amount of money that you pay for rent every month, or
Oh,
maybe
100%.
or maybe 2 months in the most extreme cases, right? That you're saving up if in this case, if you were to do it as well.
Yep.
So I think it's totally worth it.
It's totally
Now-
worth it. And if you look at the deposits that you have to put in any home,
Yeah.
what is that? Like 2 months of rent?
The 3 months of rent, because
3
it's
months of
usually
rent.
like your first, right?
Security.
And then 2 months of deposit or your first and last, and the security.
It's a no-brainer.
For a lot of people, you're talking tens of thousands of dollars just to be able to rent someplace. So
Yep.
if you could own it and use that equity,
Mm-hmm.
in the
Why
future,
not?
that's amazing. And a lot of people think that it's super inaccessible. Like I just had somebody call me and tell me like, Andres, I want to do this, I want to do that, but my credit score is so low. But what's the truth when it comes to like FHA? Like what's the minimum credit score around that most of the time? And I wish I had a lender here. We had a lender.
Yeah. Either way, like
Right.
they're not going to tell you the exact credit score for these two people that we just closed, but
Right, they
you need a
can't.
minimum of 640 credit
So
score.
it's 640, but I know FHA could work with like credit scores under 640 as well. It's just some
100%.
other restrictions that come in. I think it gets into the 500s, right? Like,
But for this particular program, you needed a minimum of 640.
yeah. But again, like there's different kinds of
There's- yeah.
programs. So like that's
You
an
can do it
important
with a
thing.
lower credit score as well, but 640 is always better.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Mhm.
Now, how much did Hometown Heroes, this program that we're talking about, give them to be able to come to the closing table with only around $40?
Yeah, they got $10,000 each one, around $10,000. You could get up to 35,000, but they got 10,000.
I think the person that closed this morning, the couple that closed this morning, got like closer to $15,000, right?
Oh, this morning.
Yeah.
Yes, you're right. Yesterday's was 10,000. Today's was 15,000.
Yeah. So imagine getting $15,000, and that's not the maximum. The maximum for Hometown Heroes, which is the program that they use to close, is actually $35,000.
Yes.
$35,000. So if you think about it, right, because they give you up to 5%,
Mhm.
right, of the purchase price.
Yeah.
You could go out there and find a home for up to $700,000,
Mhm.
and they would cover up to 5% of your closing costs, which is usually the closing cost 5%. So
Yeah.
that's not bad. Almost $1 million home here in the state of Florida, and the state of Florida will give you that money. Now, it's not just as simple as that, right? Like here's the money. Like there's always challenges that come across. Like, and we definitely had our challenges with these two to get them to the closing table. Can you go over some of those?
Yeah, I think it's just overcoming those. For example, we had to deal with one of the sellers being Open Door, and I don't know if people here know who Open Door is. I like Open Door. I don't mind them at all. But in some cases, when you come across a problem in the house, like we had that there were some leaks, there were some issues that came up. It was hard to get a hold of the agent to finally get a yes or no or how much, right? To finalize those repairs. So that's where there was a lot of a challenge to overcome, but
Yeah.
we did it because we're a big team and we are very communicative and we made it happen. Andres was on board, me, Ingrid, the lender, the buyers too are a big part of the whole transaction and just communicating with
And a
us.
transaction coordinator as well. So always,
Oh yes,
it's a team effort.
100%.
And I would say, yeah, definitely the listing agent for Open Door. We never spoke to him on the phone. He was pretty communicative when it came
Yeah.
to text message and email.
Yeah.
But again, like whenever sometimes you need to explain like things that are wrong to the house, and they just don't communicate that
Yeah.
well via writing. But
It would be great to just do it all via email, but you do need to communicate over the phone
Yeah.
to broker
Yeah.
the deal, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's another thing. And so it just comes to prove that at the end of the day, like if you guys are looking for a home, even if
Mhm.
there's challenges that are along the way, like people tell me all the time, Andres, the American dream is dead. Oh, the American dream is dead. Our parents in the 70s or our parents in the 60s, they were able to buy a home.
yeah,
But listen, if you could buy a home for $36 at the closing table, there is no excuse, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
it's totally doable.
How much did you close on your first duplex for?
Almost $16,000.
And I brought, I think, over $20,000 to the closing table to buy my first duplex.
I didn't get any seller credits. I didn't get any of that.
Yeah.
But like we say, right? I mean, you cannot wait for the best moment. You have to do it when you are ready. And at the time you're ready, see what options you have available. In this case, there is a higher interest rate, but you're able to get a Hometown Heroes program.
Absolutely.
You're able to negotiate seller credits. And there's not the highest and best bidding wars that we were seeing of 2020, 2021. Right?
Yesterday, the home that closed yesterday, how much money in equity did they have in the home at the
12.
time of closing?
Yeah. At the time of closing, they already made $12,000 in equity.
They had $12,000 in equity.
Mm-hmm.
So like people are saying,
Appraisal came over the purchase price. That's
Yeah.
what that means.
Yeah.
Which is amazing.
so they were to clean it up a little bit, and then they wanted to resell it, they could use that appraisal to tell the future buyers, like, hey, this home is already worth more money.
Yeah.
And so that is amazing. And so you want to be able to get on that. People think like, oh, the economy is bad, and so like it's just a bad time to buy. The reality is that you could get a lot of really good incentives for buying at this time.
There's always a benefit to every market. You just have to find which one it is.
But what's the one thing that I think that like usually stops people from like doing this?
I think that they're scared. They're
Yeah.
scared of what stories they may have heard, what their family members have gone through, and they make it their story. And so years can go by without them even wondering what the next step would be.
Yeah. Or you wake up and you just hear, from the media, like, oh, the world
That's
is
a big one.
crashing, it's coming
Yeah.
down. Like your friends just reiterate this information to you.
Social media and
Social
and
media,
the television.
And television, and even like comedians, or even like when they're making fun of it, it's like it's really bad. So everything just tells you
Yeah.
that it's just
Bad.
you're never going to be able to do it.
So yeah.
That's the one thing. How much time do you guys think that these people that bought this home have been here in this country for?
That's impressive. And
The
I
couple that
think-
bought yesterday,
So the people that bought yesterday, 2 years since they got here from Cuba. So they've only been in this country for 2 years.
and they were able to buy a home and close on that home for their young family
Yeah.
with the equity that they already have built in. It's crazy. It's crazy.
It's crazy. It's possible. So like this is true. This is facts. Completely
Yeah.
fact checked. This happened 2024. With everything that you're hearing in the news, you could still make your American dream come true.
So let go of the fear, because along the process, you find that it's actually really easy. You have an entire team. No matter where you buy in Florida, you're gonna have a lender. You're gonna have your real estate agent. Everybody's gonna want you to succeed, and trust me, that's what they get paid for. They get paid to make sure that you can get to the closing table, that you succeed, that you get the best deal. I think that's the biggest thing, right?
Yeah.
For people to take away.
And one of the things that I liked our Valentina say, one of our clients that closed today, is that, we asked her, what advice do you have for people who are in the shoes that you were in before? And she said, I wish, people would just take the first step in finding out the information, which means like making that call, making that first initial attempt to be like, who can help me? Right? Because when you need help, you recognize you need help, and then you ask for help. And guess what? Help comes to you.
Yeah, the universe
Right?
conspires to get you
And
that help.
that's how it works. That's how it works. And so don't think that you have to know everything. That's why you have people that are doing this day in and day out. And we got your back.
Yep.
or any other agent, that can help you,
And
not
if
just us.
yeah, absolutely. And I think that if you're somewhere in the state of Florida, or even if you're outside of the state of Florida, right, and you're watching this and you're saying like, hey, like, how does that even apply to me? Like, I'm not even in the state. How do I even begin? I'm in the middle of the state. I'm not in Miami. I'm not in Tampa. How can I get in touch with somebody that can actually help me? Because, we're not everywhere, and that's the truth. So how could they get in touch with somebody? What are some good resources to go out and
Yeah,
get in touch with
definitely.
people?
I mean, obviously, call us if you want a connection. We are very well connected with other agents and lenders nationwide. And honestly, I think that the biggest thing, and what that's where a lot of our clients come from, is
Yeah.
word of mouth.
Yeah.
Who have your people that
But
bought homes, bought like used before, and
yeah.
ask for those people, and you'll be surprised to see how much they can help you.
I would say also, like, like, it's, yeah, you could definitely call us and we could like point you to like somebody that we know in your wherever you're living or wherever you want to live in the state of Florida. But even at that, like, if you don't want to call us, right?
Hmm.
There's so many real estate agents, right? Find the person that has the right personality for you. For example, I'm a very analytical person, right? So like, if you want to talk numbers to me, I'm going to be all ears, and I'm going to make Excel sheets for you, and we're going to geek out over that stuff. Maria Cruz is not so much an Excel person. She can, absolutely. But
Yeah. Yeah, I think that when you have a team that can have different strengths, you can definitely like see that you'll be able to get to the goal, right?
yeah,
And so, like you're saying, like the personality is important, because while you might be analytical, some people are more emotional, or some people are more like not really understanding how to go and navigate through these things. So it's the tiny little details that take, asking the question multiple times maybe for you to get it. And that's totally okay, because especially being a first time home buyer, this is all new to you and we understand. So
absolutely.
definitely finding someone that meshes in with your personality, whatever that may be, right? And finding a team that can cover you in those departments.
Yeah. So don't ever think that like you're not ready to buy a home, right? You're perfect the way you are. I think that's
Mhm.
one of my favorite sayings from Maria Cruz. And absolutely feel free to either contact us or just find that right real estate agent and lender that clicks with you, and that will form a right team for you guys. So thanks so much for
Absolutely.
watching,
Yeah, thank you guys.
and stay tuned for more awesome videos for the state of Florida and how you can also achieve the Florida dream, the American dream, whether it's a waterfront multi-million-dollar house or your first home or your first investment property. All right. Have an awesome day, guys.
Bye.